Easy Explain Darwinism Introduction and Overview. So, Darwinism is the field of thought related to Charles Darwin, who was born in England in 1809 and, after many adventures, died there as well in 1882. So, starting out, a young Darwin, a young Chucky D, he, as a student and a young professional, he was really interested in medicine. He was at one point on track for medical school. He then went to seminary for a spell, just for a little bit. He was there for about a year or so, but neither of them were scratching the itch for him. He was, clearly highly intelligent, had a lot of opportunities, but just they weren't his calling. So actually, a friend approached him that was going to be going on this journey on the HMS Beagle, big old wooden ship. He was shoulder tapped by his friend, asked him to be a naturalist on board. He said, "Hey, we're going to leave for 5 years. We're going to go to the Galapagos Islands." And very fatefully, this would change Darwin's life forever, right? This would be the most, understandably so, right? A 5-year voyage from England to the Galapagos and back. And this is pre-Panama Canal, so he had to go all the way down around South America. Huge trip for a young person in their early 20s. So when he got back to England, his itch had finally been scratched here. He now had focus. He now knew how he wanted to spend his life. He went full on into a career in science, really interested in geology and natural history. Think of that aspect based on what you know of Darwin already and his observations from his voyage upon the Beagle and going to the Galapagos. So in 1859, when he's 50 years old, that's when he publishes his greatest work. This it's a huge paradigm shift in the history of human thought. It's a landmark in the philosophy of science, just about scientific thinking. And it changes evolutionary theory completely at the time. And the name of this book is On the Origin of Species, as it's commonly referred to. The full title is actually On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection. And a common misconception here is that Darwin is the one who thought of evolution, and that's not true at all. There was an understanding that evolution occurs before Darwin, but how it occurred had yet to be placed. It was observed that species were changing over time, but how that was happening really wasn't put in the best possible words until Darwin came along with the mechanism of natural selection. So there's a lot of ground covered in this book. It's actually a huge book. It's 14 chapters. It's a big one. But we're really going to be focusing on chapters 4 and 14. That's where he gets into a lot of his most important, really big ideas that shifted the history of human thought here. So just a quick overview of what these big ideas are. And that's kind of what this playlist will go through. So we're going to look at the mechanism of natural selection, how Darwin explained this in his own words. We're also going to touch on sexual selection, a very interesting thing to consider here with Darwin. We then go into the process of speciation, how other species emerge from pre-existing species. And then we're going to look at some large-scale evolutionary patterns, how we actually see evolution playing out over very large scales of time. Darwin identified 3 of them. We now know there are more than 3 of them. But his that he identified were gradualism, divergent evolution, and extinction. Evolve or go extinct. So this is a basic roadmap of the playlist to come. For now, this is just a broad overview of Darwin and the journey through his life. So as an introduction and an overview for now. Hope this helps.